Travis Wayne Goodsell, and the first count is under the category of counts under Roman numeral 1. So I told you this was going to be huge. And so we have counts under different Roman numerals. So the first one is RICO Act, U.S. Code 1961, Section 4, or yeah, whatever. 4 is enterprise includes any individual, partnership, corporation, association, or other legal entity, and any union or group of individuals associated in fact, although not a legal entity. And this has to do with the church having the outward appearance of a legal religion, as they also like to claim. We're protected under the First Amendment for religious freedom. However, their corporation is being used for criminal activity. That's what's discussed in this section of the RICO Act. And this is what I need to start with, because in order to proceed, I have to demonstrate that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is fraudulently claiming to be protected as a religious entity, when in fact the religion is the cover or the front for criminal activity with the corporation. This is what you do with the mafia, with organized crime, gangs, so that you can take down the leadership and shut down the whole operation. And this is a part of civil law as well, not just criminal. So that's the first thing we need to do, is establish that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, headquartered in Salt Lake City, Utah, is in fact a criminal organization and not the religion that they're claiming to be. And so the first count is that the defendant claims true succession from the 1830 organization. That's Joseph Smith, the said founder of the original church. And even though there's indications that he actually started in 1829, it's commonly understood that it was April 6, 1830. But evidence shows the defendant is not the... Sorry about the traffic that drove by. Is not the legally recognized successors in the decision of the Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints complainant v. the Church of Christ at Independence, Missouri. So there you go. There's the documentation that I mentioned in the previous video, where you need evidence and documentation to back this up. So I can't just say, no, they're not true. It doesn't work that way. My feelings, opinions, beliefs don't matter. I have to have the facts and the evidence to back up my accusation. And so that's the facts, that in the United States court system, it's already been determined who are the true successors of Joseph Smith. And it turns out that it's Joseph Smith III, legally and lawfully decided in the courts of the United States. He did not win the temple lot, but he did get recognized by the United States as the official and true successor of Joseph Smith, his father. And so Brigham Young has no claims. And the reason for this is because Brigham Young left the United States and took over land in Mexico territory and established his kingdom, the Kingdom of Deseret. Then the United States came in and abolished their organization. And that's going to be future counts here, and we'll get into that. And so Mormons were no longer allowed to be United States citizens. They're stripped of all of it. And so when the Mormons fooled the government into not having still practiced polygamy, even though they were allowed to become a state in the Union and allowed to become citizens again. But then the whole debt and other RICO crimes commenced as well, and we'll get into those. And so, Brigham Young is not the true successor. And I'll get into the church's claims that they were the true successors despite the United States, because they're going to argue that, and I'm going to shut them down right away. But that's coming up. So this is count one, is to show the courts that the United States has already identified the true successors of Joseph Smith, and that for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Salt Lake City, Utah, to make the claim that they are the true successors is part of the fraud that they're committing. And that's going to be crucial when we get to these other counts. And so conferences, you notice the numbering that they use? They go back to 1830. They're claiming true succession in their conferences, and they still have them, and they still number them accordingly. And next year, they're doing their bicentennial year based on 200 years from the first vision of the original church, of which they are not true successors. So when the church says they are the true church, they're lying. And we'll get to that one, because that involves another count under this first one, which has to do with fraudulent credentials. That's what this is covering. So, there we go.